Shit. This is what I'm feeling like. Da, 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 da. Let me tell you what I'm feeling like. Da, 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 da. Yo, what up, dope people? Like to welcome you back to the Keep the C Note podcast. As always, I am your boy Brown. This is the Week 11 NFL recap. For some people, it was a great Week 11. For others, disappointing. But we'll get into all of that. This your first time tuning in on YouTube. Shout out to you. Please hit the sub button. Everybody that's tuned in, make sure you hit the like button. And if you hear something you agree with or you disagree with, or if it's something that you need to correct me on, please drop a comment. Make sure everybody hit the bell so you can get notified when we drop new content. Let's start it off in New Orleans. The Saints hosting the defending champs. The champs still hung over on a 3-game losing skid. Never lost 4 games in a row under McVay until Week 11. Shout out to the Saints. They came away with the 27-20 victory. Andy Dalton, he looked like he had Ocho Cinco and all them brothers back at Cincinnati the way he picked the defense apart. He threw for 260 and 3 touchdowns. Taysom Hill, 52 yards on the ground. And Chris Olave, 5 catches, 102 yards, and a touchdown over Jalen Ramsey or by Jalen Ramsey or however you want to put it. But all you seen was Olave like this catching the football and Jalen Ramsey with a bunch of exhaust smoke in his face. Keeping it a C note. The Saints are 4-7. As for the Rams, Stafford started the game, looked well, ended up back in concussion protocol. He threw for 159 and 2 touchdowns. Bryce Perkins came in to bail him out. 64 yards is what he threw for. Cam Akers, 61 yards on the ground. And Allen Robinson, 4 catches, 47 yards and a touchdown. The Rams are 3-7, people. Yikes. First 4-game losing streak ever under McVay. Shout out Sean McVay wherever he may be because he did not come this season. I don't know who that is on our sideline. So wherever you at, Sean McVay, shout out to you. You did nothing, no wrinkles in the offense or nothing. It was just like completely the same. Like you ain't picked up a playbook or anything the whole off season. So, that's what you get when you don't put the time in. You know how that go. And as for the defense has been disappointing all year. The coordinator has been disappointing. But I will say this, I think the Rams may have got a couple picks wrong. They let certain players go that maybe they shouldn't have let go. Now, I'm not saying Darius Williams is better than Jalen Ramsey. What I am going to say is Darius Williams was leading us in interception multiple years. He was a playmaker. Jalen Ramsey really isn't that anymore. I'm pretty sure Darius Williams, 1, would have been cheaper. And 2, you don't see Darius Williams this year with a bunch of exhaust smoke in his face getting burnt every other play or getting ran over because you whiffed on tackles and all of that. Jalen Ramsey, more value. He probably could have brung us some more stuff. I'm just keeping it a C-note. It's not just Jalen Ramsey. Taylor Rapp should have been gone. It should have been a couple guys gone. But I think it should have been a couple guys that they tried to keep. That's just my thoughts. I'm keeping it a C-note. Last week, I did not want to hit the panic button. This week, I will look everybody in their face and say, F that panic button. I'm totally bypassing it. The season is over for the Rams. They will not make the playoffs. That's me keeping it a C-note. That's where I'm at with it. I will say this, though. Until the next Super Bowl, we're still the champs. So as you can talk as crazy as you want to me, all I'm going to do is send you a picture of the ring. Until that championship switches hands, we're still the champs, even if we're looking like suckers. I got to keep it a C note. Let's go next game. Let's go ATL. They still fighting for a playoff spot. So shout out to the Falcons. They was hosting Chicago. They came away with the 27-24 victory. Mariota, 131 and a touchdown. Tyler Algier, 58 yards on the ground. And Kyle Pitts, 3 catches, 43 yards. He did get injured. But Atlanta is 5-6. They're still in the playoff mix. So shout out to y'all. As for the Bears, Justin Fields, 153, a touchdown and an interception. He also ran for 85 yards and scored a touchdown on the ground. David Montgomery, 3 catches, 54 yards. The Bears are 3-8. You can wrap them up. Their season has been over as well. I'm just keeping it a C note with you. Next up, we had Buffalo. They was hosting Cleveland, but the game was being played in Detroit because of all the snow at Buffalo's field. Shout out Buffalo. They came away with the 31-23 victory. Josh Allen, 197 in a touchdown. Devin Singletary, he had 86 yards on the ground and a touchdown. And Dawson Knox, 7 catches for 70 yards. Buffalo was 7-3. Here's the only thing I got with that. I don't know how this worked where if Detroit Stadium was the only available stadium, but it's like you just looked out for Buffalo real crazy because they didn't have to travel. Their next game is on Thanksgiving to Detroit. So basically you just put them in Detroit a couple days early, let them even host a game there and all of that. So I don't know, NFL. That look a little shaky. That's just me keeping it a C note. As for Cleveland, Jacoby Brissett, he actually got busy. 3 touchdowns through the air. He threw for 324. They did nothing on the ground. Kareem Hunt, 32 yards. Shout out Amari Cooper. Somebody showed him film from last week's episode where I was looking for him. He showed up and showed out. 8 catches, 113 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Cleveland is 3-7. Their season was over once Deshaun Watson got suspended. I'm just keeping it a C note. Pardon me. Next up, we had the Eagles in Indy playing Jeff Saturday and the guys. Jeff Saturday just got his first career win as a coach. The Eagles coming off of their first loss of the season. Shout out to the Eagles. They did bounce back, got the 17-16 victory, comeback victory at the end. Jalen Hurts, 190 and a touchdown. He also ran for 86 yards and a touchdown. And Devontae Smith, 6 catches, 78 yards. The Eagles are 9-1 people. Shout out to Philly. As for Indy, Matty Ice threw for 213. Jonathan Taylor, 84 yards and a touchdown. Michael Pittman Jr., 6 catches, 75 yards. Indy is 4-6-1 people. Wrap their season up as well. I'm just keeping it a C note with you. What's your thoughts, though, people? After seeing the Eagles the last couple weeks, I mean, they pulled this one out, but you still think they're the best team in the league? Keep it a C note. Let us know. And listen, I want to just keep it a C note, right? I was told a lot about Monday night. The Eagles lost on Monday night. They took their first loss because of the referees. One thing that a good coach is always going to tell you, and I've been told this by coaches since I was a kid, never, if you think the refs are cheating you or they're calling bad calls, then don't put the game in the referee's hands. That's just the point of it. I'm just keeping it a C note. That's the way it is. Let's go New England. They was hosting the Jets. The Jets ain't won in Foxborough. I forget. I think they said since like 2010. Yikes. Bill over there, he just, stacking up records in the NFC East. But shout out to Bill Belichick and the Patriots. They came away with the 10-3 victory. Marcus James, game-winning punt return at the end. This game was dry. You hear me? Mac Jones, he threw for 246. Damian Harrison, 65 yards on the ground. And Ramondre Stevenson, 6 catches, 56 yards. New England is 6-4, people. Shout out to them. As for the Jets, Zach Wilson, 77 yards through the air. Yikes. 26 yards on the ground. He led them in rushing. And Denzel Mims, 2 catches, 35 yards. The Jets are now 6-4. And 2 of those losses is to New England, people. So shout out Bill Belichick again. Next up, we had Detroit in East Rutherford trying to win 3 games in a row for the first time in a very long time against the Giants. And again, shout out to Detroit. They came away with a 31-18 victory. Jared Goff threw for 165. Jamal Williams, 64 yards on the ground and 3 more touchdowns. Shout out to him. He leads the league in touchdowns, I believe. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 7 catches, 76 yards. Don't look now, but Jared Goff, the Detroit Lions, they're on a 3-game winning streak. And what's more crazy is that Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions have a better record than Matthew Stafford and the LA Rams. Yikes. As for the Giants, Daniel Jones, 341, a touchdown, 2 interceptions. He also ran for 50 yards and had a rushing touchdown. Wan'Dale Robinson, 9 catches, 100 yards. The Giants are now 7-3, people. Saquon a little bottled up, so let's see if the Giants can bounce back. Next up, another dry game, Baltimore hosting Carolina, and Baltimore came away with the 13-3 victory. Lamar Jackson threw for 209 and an interception. He ran for 31 yards and a touchdown. And Demarcus Robinson got busy, 9 catches, 128 yards. On a low, Baltimore 7-3, people. Let's watch out for them. Baker Mayfield, he threw for 196 and 2 interceptions. They did nothing on the ground. Dante Foreman, 24 yards on the ground. And Terrence Marshall, 3 catches, 76 yards. 3-8 for Carolina. Their season's been over. So, we ain't really got to talk about them. Next up, we had Washington, Taylor Heineke, fresh off of handing the Eagles their first loss. They was in Houston to play the Texans, and they came away with the 23-10 victory. Heineke threw for 191. Antonio Gibson, 72 yards on the ground. And Logan Thomas, 5 catches, 65 yards. The Commanders are 6-5, people. Above 500, shout out to them. As for the Texans, Davis Mills, 169, 2 interceptions. Yikes. He did rush for a touchdown. They did nothing else on the ground. Damian Pierce was MIA. Brandon Cooks had 3 catches for 70 yards. Houston is 1-8-1, people. What's your thoughts? Let's play for a number 1 pick would be my thoughts if you're a Houston Texans fan. I'm just keeping it a C-note. Next up, we had Derek Carr, the Vegas Raiders, fresh off a Carr crying in front of the press conference, in front of everybody in the world. They was in Denver playing Russ and the boys. And shout out Vegas with the 22-16 overtime victory. Derek Carr threw for 307 and 2 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs, 109 yards on the ground. Devontae Adams, 7 catches, 141, 2 touchdowns, including the game-winning walk-off touchdown in overtime. The Raiders are 3-7, people. Their season is also over. I'm just keeping it a C note. As for Denver, their season been over. Russ threw for 247. Latavius Murray, 49 yards on the ground and a touchdown. Cortland Sutton, 5 catches, 80 yards. I must say Cortland Sutton is a disappointment. I thought he was way better than he's played this season. He just looked like a big, slow dude, and you really can't throw it up for him because he ain't got hands like that neither, so it ain't no guarantee he could catch it. And with no separation, you throwing a jump ball every time. I'm really shocked. I thought Cortland Sutton was better than he's played. I'm just keeping it a C note. That's my thoughts. Denver is 3-7, and again, their season has been over, probably since week 1. I'm just keeping it a C note. Next up, we had Dallas trying to bounce back from the loss to Green Bay. They was in Minnesota. The Vikings was on a 7-game winning streak. And shout out to the Cowboys. They beat the brakes off of Minnesota 40-3. Yikes. Dak, he threw for 276 and 2 touchdowns. Pollard ran for 80 yards, and he caught 6 catches out the backfield, 109 yards and 2 touchdowns. Dallas is 7-3. As for Minnesota, Kirk Cousins did nothing, 105 yards. Dalvin Cook, 72 yards on the ground. T.J. Hockenson, 5 catches, 34 yards. Justin Jefferson, he took the week off. He was somewhere chilling. He was still hyped from last week, I guess, because he was MIA. I'm just keeping it a C note. Minnesota's now 8-2 people. No cap, call him a Oouuber. Tony Pollard is the second best running back in the NFC East, behind Saquon Barkley. Is that no cap? Call him a Oouuber. Keep it a C note with us. Next up, we had Cincinnati. They was in Pittsburgh, taking on the Steelers, and they came away with the 37-30 victory. Burrow threw for 355, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Samaj J.P. Ryan, 30 yards on the ground, but he caught 4 catches for 52 yards and 3 touchdowns. Yikes, he got busy. T. Higgins, 9 catches for 148. Shout out to the Bengals. They are now 6-4. As for Pittsburgh, Kenny Pickett, 265 and a touchdown. Najee Harris, he had 90 yards on the ground and got in the end zone twice. George Pickens, 4 catches, 83 yards and a touchdown. Pittsburgh is 3-7. Their season's been over, though, so I'm keeping it a C note with that. Sunday Night Football, we had Kansas City at SoFi Stadium to take on the Chargers. KC came away with the 30-27 victory. Mahomes, 329, 3 touchdowns, including a game-winning touchdown with seconds left. Isaiah Pacheco, 107 yards on the ground. Travis Kelce, he got busy, 6 catches, 115, and 3 touchdowns. Yikes. KC is now 8-2. As for the Chargers, Justin Herbert, he got some of his weapons back. Mike Williams did leave back out with the injury again, but shout out Justin Herbert, 280, 2 touchdowns and an interception. Eckler, 83 yards on the ground and a touchdown. And Joshua Palmer, he got busy, 8 catches, 106 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Chargers are now at 500. They are 5-5 people. It's not looking good for them. Keeping it a C note. Before we get up out of here, it's a lot of talk. Odell Beckham Jr., I've been hearing a lot about him. They're saying that he's going to make a decision where to sign after Thanksgiving. It's out of the Giants. It's out of the Cowboys. I'm hearing people telling me, oh, y'all need Odell back. And listen, I think everyone needs to relax on the Odell Beckham talk. Let's look at it like this. First of all, Odell was coming off a torn ACL, so he needs to be on the team that has multiple weapons where you don't have to depend on him. Then let's not act like Odell Beckham has just been balling out for the last 5 years. He was on a decline. He had a couple bad years in Cleveland. He came over to us, and as you can see now, all the attention Cooper Kupp gets. You know, Odell had a good run with us, but I think everybody needs to relax because, yes, he had a good run with us, but when you're playing with the best wide receiver in the league, it's going to look like that. When he was just the number one right before that, we seen how he looked on multiple teams. So I think we need to calm down with the Odell Beckham talk. I'm just keeping it a C note. Sunday Night Football. Did it leave any doubt in anyone's mind after seeing Sunday Night Football that Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL? Keep it a C note. I know we talk Josh Allen. I know we talk people that got potential and stuff like that, or the people that's having a good year. But really, is there a better quarterback than Patrick Mahomes right now? Keep it a C note. We see that the Aaron Rodgers and the Bradys, them guys fell off. That's just keeping it a C note. Josh Allen up and coming. You got a couple other guys up and coming, but I think Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league. What's your thoughts on it? Next question. If Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFC West, and we can all agree Justin Herbert is the second best quarterback in the NFC West, the AFC West, pardon me. Who's the third best quarterback in the AFC West? Is it Derek Carr? Is it Russell Wilson? And I'm not talking career. I'm talking right now. Who's the third best quarterback in the AFC West? I'm going to say Russell Wilson is in the basement. He's the worst quarterback in the division. Derek Carr is not that much better than him, but right now Derek Carr is better than Russell Wilson. I can't believe I'm saying this. I don't know how Russ fell off that fast, but he is the worst quarterback in the AFC West. I'm just keeping it a C note. What's your thoughts, no cap? Should you call me an Uber? Let me know. Monday Night Football, there in Mexico City. You got San Fran, you got the Cardinals. Bunch of game time decisions from Kyler Murray to DeAndre Hopkins. Keep it a C note. Who you got? If Kyler and them don't play, you know, they're not playing the Rams again, so I got San Fran. But if Kyler and DeAndre Hopkins both play, I got Arizona. Keep it a C note. Drop a comment. Who you got Monday Night Football? This episode is a wrap. If your team is still fighting for a playoff spot, or they're looking like they're gonna have a playoff spot after 11 weeks, salute to you. If your team is like my team and it's over for you after 11 weeks, I feel your pain, player. I feel your pain. Real talk. As always, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Again, if this is your first time, please hit the sub button. Everybody that watched the video, please hit the like button. Drop some comments. Let us know what's what. Make sure you hit the bell so you stay notified when we drop new content. As always, I am your boy Brown. I appreciate you for tuning in. Please tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend to tell everybody. Keep it a C note. I holla at y'all.
Shit.
This is what I'm feeling like. Da, 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 da. Let me tell you what I'm feeling like.